do all that you can to talk with your friends, your neighbors, and the folks that you come in contact with about a candidate who not only grew up right down the street from here, but who is an outsider who knows what's going on inside, a businessman who knows how to run a business and wants state government to be run that way, but most important, a patriot who's going to fight for our individual liberties and freedoms and to take back all that Josh Shapiro and Tom Wolf have taken away over the course of the past couple of years. Because the edicts and mandates, the top-down, big spending, over-regulating regime of Tom Wolf cannot be continued by Josh Shapiro. Those of you in the Southeast know him better than anybody. And you know that as bad as Tom Wolf has been, Josh Shapiro would be worse. So I'm asking for your help between now and Tuesday, for your votes on Tuesday. I'm very grateful to my friend Dave Brodinger, to my friend Pete Palestina, and to so many others here who have been so helpful along the way. Thank you for having me. I hope you all have a wonderful day. God bless.
So the Mother's Day lunch is supposed to be at Piccolo in Newtown, right? Yes. So we're going to Piccolo for dinner tonight in Doyle's too. I didn't know when they're not in Doyle's too. So we had reservations last week and so we're having a couple and then so then we had reservations and we're going tonight and then a couple of them dropped out. Everything like family style for appetizers. So anything that was lunch, I'm like, I'm taking that home.
We're like, I'll always wrap up stuff and she knows damn well I'm never or something. I always think they want steak and eggs in the morning.
Yeah, like what's the side?
She's like, we never have it. Thank you so much, Carmela. It's very nice of you.
It's in the back of the fridge, and I'm like, what the hell is smelling? Well, that's what I was going to have for dinner, and then I had that craving for McDonald's. And I'm like, you know, I was so excited about my leftovers. Like, why would you do that?
What you doing, girl?
Our breakfast in the spring and our spaghetti dinner in September are the events that we use to support all the activities we have here in Northampton Township and certainly help us to elect good Republican officials to represent us. And we're very proud of the Republican officials we have here, elected officials in Northampton. And I want to introduce, first of all, our township supervisors who are here. We have our chair of the Township Supervisors in Northampton, Adam Selzker's here. Adam. Our newest member of the Board of Supervisors who won last November, Bob Salzer. Bob, welcome. And I know Paula Gasper was supposed to stop by. I haven't seen her, and then Paula also was candidate that we supported and won last year. So we're fortunate to have a great majority of Republican supervisors in the township who do an excellent job for us. Thank you very much for all the work you do for our citizens. I also want to just recognize a few other elected officials who are here. The individual who does not need to be introduced because everybody knows him and writes in checks every twice a year, our tax collector, Vincent Dion. And we have our auditors here, Karen Jim. Karen. And I haven't seen Beth Rodman come in yet, but Beth Rodman is also one of our auditors, and Liz Yaus. And then we also have one of our school board members is here, Joe Hidalgo. Joe? Somewhere around. There he is. And I'd be remiss in not recognizing someone who served on our school board for many, many years, has been a terrific supporter of our committee, and we're sorry to see him. He left the school board this last election, but Mark Vidic is here. Thank you for all your years of service. And also our Constable Brian Zabotnik isn't here yet, but he will certainly be coming by. We also have our Recorder of Deeds here today, Dan McPhillips. Good to have you with us here. We have a couple of individuals who are running for state committee. Probably the most important thing you can do and most complicated thing you can do on election day is make sure you elect the recommended committee slate. There are 17 individuals who are recommended to run for state committee and represent Bucks County at the state committee. And there are 16 individuals running against those 17. So there are 33 names on the ballot. And so it's important for you to make sure that you support those recommended candidates. And three of them are here, so I just wanted to say hello to them. Sean Radomski is here. Sean, great to have you with us. Also, two from Northampton who are running, Eileen Zolotorov. Eileen. And yours truly. So make sure you don't miss us on the ballot. We need to make sure we win all of those. And then before we bring up our speakers, I do want to say a special thank you to our sponsors today. We can't have a successful fundraiser without sponsors. And fortunately, we have great friends who support us. First of all, and we also are fortunate enough today to have one of our candidates for Lieutenant Governor with us today. James Jones is someone who is known by many of you, especially our committee people and volunteers. James Jones is the only Lieutenant Governor candidate who stopped by our meetings. So our committee people had an opportunity to meet him on multiple occasions, and so we did a straw poll at our last meeting to see if you were voting a week and a half ago, who would you support for governor, who would you support for senate, and who would you support for lieutenant governor. And I can tell you overwhelmingly, our committee people and volunteers and assistant committee people chose James Jones as their candidate for lieutenant governor. So please welcome our candidate for lieutenant governor, James Jones.
Good morning, everybody. Uh-oh, you've had breakfast, you're ready for nap time. Let's try it again. Good morning, everybody. Yes, I can feel the flow now. I love it. You know, it's just a pleasure to be here with patriots, people who believe in our Constitution, people who believe in election integrity, people who believe that they want to see a difference in leadership in our Commonwealth. And yes, I am James Earl Jones. Ballot position number 2 on Tuesday, May 17th. I'm running because I was prayed into this thing for running for Lieutenant Governor. Yes, I'm a Christian, pro-life Christian, you know, a conservative, constitutionalist, and I think it's time that we have leadership in Harrisburg. Somebody who has a backbone. And I say I have a backbone because, yes, I've been through 3 wars. Vietnam, Beirut, First Gulf War. I trained Navy SEALs. I still got a lot of that Rambo left in me, guys. Make no mistake about it, I have a lot of fight left in me. But above all, I have something that probably not a lot of the other candidates may not have, and that is I've been responsible for managing well over 275,000 people, a budget well over $200 million. I've been responsible for 26 labor union contracts. And make no mistake about it, the state will have some contracts that would need to be negotiated. I have that ready-to-use experience, battlefield-tested experience. I've also dealt with 26,000 labor union who walked off the job. I was instrumental in inspiring them to get back to work once again. So that's what I bring, leadership. What do I have to offer? A businessman, 2 businesses, an HR consultant practice, and a petroleum company. And I'm doing real well. So make no mistake about it, not a career politician, nor am I looking for a job. I'm here because I believe I can make a difference. And I believe Pennsylvania needs to have leadership. That's what I brought. A 3 to 5 year business plan that includes the economy, the environment, education, and above all, energy. I have expertise in Pennsylvania great again, and we can deal with the environmental agencies that's been stopping permits from being issued, and we can make Pennsylvania great again.
Thank you for having us, Dave. Thanks as always. Unfortunately, as Dave said, Brian couldn't be here. I'm a lousy substitute, and I know you guys actually want to hear from actual candidates, so I'll be brief. As many of you also know Brian. Brian's been in this community fighting the good fight. You know, when we look at things that are going on in this country right now, it's more evident than ever. It's time to take back the House. I'll talk real quickly about 2 specific pieces of legislation that Brian has introduced that are sitting on Nancy Pelosi's desk, waiting to be taken up, being blocked by socialists in Congress. First, it's House Resolution 102, requiring an ID to vote. What a novel idea. Signature matching for mail-in ballots. And lastly, proving that you're a United States citizen before you're eligible to vote. Common sense. The second thing, House Resolution 336, it bans stock trading among congressmen. This is sitting dead. These are the things that we can do if we retake control of Congress, and this is the majority-making district. If we don't hold this district, and we nominate a candidate that's dead on arrival in November, that's a great sign that we're not going to be able to retake the House. So I'll leave you with this. Brian's endorsed by your local Republican committee people. He's endorsed by the Fraternal Order of Police. They say he's the only candidate they trust to have the back of police officers. He's endorsed by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and he's endorsed by all 8 Republican congressmen outside of PA1 in Pennsylvania. The last thing I'll say, we're coming down the home stretch. So Monday night, we're having a big volunteer event at the Republican headquarters in Doylestown from 3 to 8:30. So if you'd like to come out and help, we're going to be getting out the vote for all of the Republican candidates for state committee that Dave was talking about. As for Brian, we'll be calling and texting voters. The team who's also here, we're going out to knock doors after this, so we might not be able to stick around. We got to get the vote out. So, but we'll be hanging around. If anyone has questions, specific questions, you can find us. We'll be happy to take them. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dave. Part of my campaign team wanted to come up here with me. My daughter Charlotte, my son Jacob. So thank you for having us up here. As Dave mentioned, I'm the state representative for the 142nd district. I'm used to having to slug it out in some Democrat areas, so it's actually nice to be in a good, strong Republican area. As redistricting has been drawn out, we're going to have some very competitive races. Both some of the Buck State House races, and particularly this Senate seat. The Senate seat's roughly a 50-50 seat. And trust me, to get to the majority in the Senate, the Democrats need to take this Senate seat. So we're going to be working hard, we're going to be raising money, we're going to be knocking doors. So I appreciate, one, the effort you've put in thus far. Thankfully we weren't opposed in the primary, so we can pool our resources for the general. But it's going to be a very, very important election. filling Senator Tomlinson's shoes. There's some pretty big shoes to fill. He's obviously done a lot of work during his career in the Senate. He has a very strong endorsement video, which we'll be rolling out at the right time during the campaign. My opponent, who I won't mention here, but is from your community, Wendy put her in her place 2 years ago with the Northampton team, and we plan to do the same this year. But just a note, 52% of her contributions, individual contributions, came from out of state. They came from California and New York. She's already raising her money from out of state now, which just highlights our need to win on the ground. So, folks, I thank you again for the opportunity to be here. I do have a shorting event I got to run back to that I left to come here, and then an Eagle Scout that I'll be here for a little bit. If not, I'll be happy to meet with you or talk to you over a cup of coffee. So thank you.
Make it as competitive as they could while also being legal with that. But I think we all know here what this election is going to be about. And it's going to be a referendum about the economy. It's going to be the referendum about our quality of life and where we see ourselves as Americans in 2022. I'm sure you've all heard we're having a baby formula crisis right now in 2022. This is the United States of America. Inflation is out of control. Dave, actually, when I went to come up here, I handed my $25. He said, keep the money, you're going to need it. I said, Dave, in 3 months it's going to be worth $15. You need it now. But that's the choice that we all need to bring to the voters this year. We need to remind them all that our quality of life, what it's like to live in America, is at stake right now. And what the National Democrats are doing in Washington, D.C., they control every branch of government. They're trying to let us all forget that. The state Democrats are going to do the exact same thing. They're going to enact the same type of policies. They're going to go after the people that think differently than them, and they're going to shut us down at every opportunity they possibly can. So I'm out there working, just like Frank. I'm leaving here to go knock doors. I'm going to knock as many doors as I possibly can to get the message out there. And with your help, I think we're going to have a great year or a great night in November, but we have to keep our foot on the gas. And thanks, everyone.
Kritin Marcell. Kritin?
Thank you so much, Dave, and thank you to everyone for having me this morning. It's been a great event. I love the energy here. While I'm from Churchville, because that's where my dad's house is until he sells it this summer, sadly, I'm currently in Wrightstown. We don't have events this large, and so it's really nice to be with you all. I know that I've had time to meet some of you, but not everyone yet. So as Dave mentioned, I've been on the Council Rock School Board for about almost 4 years. I got involved simply because I was a parent that didn't want Wrightstown Elementary to close, and folks like Wendy, Wendy Thomas, there she is, she's back there. Wendy Thomas was nice enough to talk to me about that issue, and I had a chance to get to know her, so thank you to her for all the service that she has given to our community. In terms of school board, it's been an interesting few years, as everyone knows, because of some of the COVID issues that we've been dealing with, and that is why I'm here today, is because when Wendy made her announcement, I made a decision that I wanted to run for the seat to represent the community, because when I was on the board, we had so many moments where we were seeing the importance of Harrisburg and the governor as we were trying to keep kids in school. And thank you to Mark Bialik and Joe Hidalgo and the school board members who would vote with me to make sure that our kids could continue learning and that we were not dealing with these terrible mandates from Harrisburg. And so that's why I'm here today. I also have a number of issues that are important to me, including voter integrity and trying to make sure that we can reform Act 77. I actually won my last school board race by 7 votes, and it took 5 weeks to determine the winner of the race because there were a number of ballots that were being counted. I don't think that the process that we have currently is a good one, and so I want to work on that issue to ensure we have voter integrity and we have a good process going forward. And then finally, on top of parent choice and education issues really mattering to me, I also am very committed to law enforcement and ensuring that our community is very supportive of first responders and all of our police representatives. So with that, I wanted to just thank the Northampton Committee. Not only did you help me to get over 700 petition signatures and endorse me, but you also have just done a tremendous amount of work, and I really value that. I'm excited to have all of you on my team, and I'm looking forward to a great victory in November, not just for me, but also a number of people on the ticket. And so just thank you so much, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kristen. Two very important things. One, Kristen is following the same pattern that Representative Wendy Thomas has done for years, and she is buying all of our lunches on Election Day. So thank you for that. Much appreciated. By the way, a reminder to our committee people who are here, your Election Day bag materials, election materials are outside. Please don't leave without them. The second thing that Kristen did not say is Frank Farry said that his legislative Senate district is 50-50, tough. Joe Hogan says that his is 50-50, tough. The good news is that the 178 became much more Republican. When we elect Kritin Marcell, she can serve as long as she wants to serve. There will never be a Democrat elected in that 178. And finally, I did want to give an opportunity for one last person just to say a few words. She's not going to do a speech. But we were so fortunate for so many years to have a wonderful state representative represent us. And we're sorry to see her leave, although she will be there until Kristen steps into that seat. Please join me in thanking and welcoming Representative Wendy Thomas. Thank you.
Sorry guys, I obviously did not know I was speaking, but as soon as I turn this off,
JT calling.
it's one of those kids who's too old to be calling me now. I guess I really want to take this opportunity to thank you. So many people in this room have worked so hard for me, with me, over the years. It really is hard to put into words what it means to me and what it has meant to me. I mean, you guys remember back in 18, I lost that special by a little bit, but we won in November. But everybody who was with me the first time was with me the second time and worked even harder. And that was a hard time, very motivating time, but it has really meant the world to me. So I just want to say, I've been around the county now a little bit more. This is clearly the best North Republican group in the county. No offense, anyone else who's from the others, but Northampton rocks. And you put the time in, you put the work in, you share your ideas with others to help others, you talk to your neighbors. You talk to your neighbors who aren't just Republicans. And you try to tell them why the things we're doing are important for the community. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's the difference. We're the people with the solutions. We're the people working hard to make this a better place and keep our community. And it's because of each and every one of you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, baby.
All right, now we're going to get to the baskets. But before we do that, I want to just recognize two special people who are here. So some of you may know that in Bucks County we have a very active teenage Republican group. We also have a very active young Republicans group. And two of our young Republicans are here. They were up, they work at headquarters to help volunteer. They were there yesterday when I was up picking up our poll materials, and I just want to say thank you for all the work that they do. You two guys want to stand and just say, welcome to Northampton. Good to have you. Nice to have such capable, smart, and probably good-looking young Republicans. So that's great. Great to have you guys with us today. Eileen, and while Eileen comes up here, please join me in thanking Eileen for all the work she does in putting together these events. She makes this place look beautiful with all the centerpieces, all the door prizes that she gets, all the auction prizes. So thank you very much for all your work.
Thank you, Dave. You know it's my gig, running a party. I will tell you, we already picked all up there and see if you're, but we're going to be there to verify. So there's no cheating. Okay, thanks everybody. Thanks for, I want to thank Katie Gannon, who donated 7 raffles today. Katie and Andrew Gannon, thank you. And thanks to everyone else that did bring in raffles. It makes it a one. Vince Dion did all of those blow-up pool things and all the beer cozies, which are big. Thanks, everybody.
And we have one more of our state committee candidates come into the room. I just want to acknowledge him. This individual and I have served together on state committee, so he's an incumbent running again for state committee. George Brandon is here today. George, thank you for coming. With that, there's lots of coffee, lots of dessert. Please continue to eat and take a